I put a post on my community tab on YouTube. Do you guys actually pay attention to this area, like when people post pictures or questions? I tend to ignore this section, but maybe I should start posting there more. I dropped this little graphic Q&A because I've never done a Q&A on my channel. So I've got quite a few questions. This may have to be a two-part. So this question comes up quite a lot. Am I dating? Y'all really want to know. Ooh. All right, y'all want to talk about dating. Let's talk about who I'm dating. Ooh, juicy. Hey guys, welcome to my channel for, I think, what is my first Q&A? I'm not 100% sure if I've done a Q&A before. I have over 500 videos on my channel, but I don't remember doing one. Typically, all I do is just answer questions randomly in a vlog that I might have gotten previously, but I've never done like a actual Q&A titled video. So here we go. Miss J. Parker. Hey girl. She says, good morning, Tony. Do you ever think you will get married again? And if so, what is one thing you will not tolerate next time? Love you, girl. Okay. I have gotten this question in my real life, like people who know me. So I actually have absolutely zero desire to be legally married again. And there's a reason why I specify legally. It's because whenever I say I don't want to get married again, people automatically shut that down, and Tony, never say never, and you're going to change your mind, and it just takes the right person. And so I like to be very intentional with my words, and the reason why I say legally married is because that's exactly what I mean. Will I ever get into another relationship? Probably. Am I open to loving again? Absolutely. Am I open to sharing my life with somebody? Of course. Am I open to building a life together with somebody? Absolutely. Am I open to putting on a white dress? Yes. Am I open to a ceremony in front of my family and friends? Absolutely. I am of the belief system that you can be married in the eyes of God without involving the government in your business. So yeah, I would definitely share my life, build a life with somebody, put on a white dress, have a dedication ceremony. However, legally, as in filing taxes, yeah, I'll be doing that separately. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. This is kind of fun. I like Q&As now. Car Wash 38, shout out to you, girl. Can't wait to visit Toronto again. Any suggestions on areas to visit and areas to stay away from? We stayed in downtown Toronto last time and enjoyed it, but didn't see very many blacks. Asterisks, black people, I'm guessing. Downtown Toronto is a super cool part of the city. It's extremely touristy. It would be similar to going to New York and going to Times Square. It's one of those things that you should do if you've never seen it, but there are so many more rich, diverse, cool, chill places to hang out in New York, and Toronto is no different. Typically when you see me out and about in my vlogs, if there is an area that I particularly love, I will talk about it. One of the areas that I featured most recently is Harbourfront, which technically I guess is a part of downtown Toronto, but of course it's right by the water, right by Lake Ontario, and it's absolutely beautiful. We also have the Toronto Islands you can take a ferry out to. There's tons of stuff to do out there as well, and it just makes a really great day trip. If you're into nature and hikes and trails and beautiful views, the Scarborough Bluffs are an absolutely breathtaking place to visit as well, and that's in the east end of Toronto, which is where I live. Kensington Market, super cool area. It's outside the downtown core but still in Toronto, and it's a really cool hippie, hipster kind of trendy vibe. Lots of thrift shops, lots of really cool small restaurants, lots of black-owned businesses. It's another area of the city that I love to visit. I haven't gone down there this summer yet, so I probably will schedule that and definitely do a little walk around the area with you. Yeah, honestly, Toronto has a lot of super cute hidden neighborhoods that are great to explore. Google is your friend, and those are just some of my favorites. Tammy Williams, would you consider dating a white guy again? No. Sibs Lawrence asks, what are your thoughts on starting a family? I think you have fantastic maternal energy and would be a great mom. Well, she actually has more than one question. She also says, where do you stand on interracial dating now? And do you think you might start interior decorating / designing as a serious career path as you have a natural gift there? So I think that starting a family is super fulfilling and beautiful. And I also think that I have a great maternal energy. I can use that maternal energy to be a great aunt, to be a great sister, to be a great dog mom, to be a great friend, to be a great any other role in life. So starting a family, I think, is amazing. I just don't think it's necessary for everyone. And her second question was, where do you stand with dating interracially now? I think that there is a misconception with Black women who have or who are dating specifically white men. The misconception is that if a Black woman has or is dating a white man, they're into interracial dating. I have never been into interracial dating. I have never tagged or labeled any of my videos hashtag interracial dating, interracial couples, interracial vlogs, interracial anything, the swirl, which I actually hate that term. I've never promoted it, never advertised it, never anything. All I did was share my relationship, and I happened to have been married to a white man. That's it. Yes, some Black women who date white men are into white men. Some Black women who date white men seek out white men. I'm not one of those women. I am a Black woman who has always dated Black men and who happened to fall in love with a white guy. I've said that in the past, and I don't know. Of course, people will always run with whatever narrative that they want to, but that's just been my experience. And the reason why I think that this is very specific to women, Black women who have dated white men, is because interracial means two different races dating. It doesn't mean Black and white, but I only ever see Black women getting that question or getting these lines of questions. Natural85, who is a YouTube OG, one of my biggest YouTube inspirations, and WCWs, actually also went through something similar to me, and was also in an interracial relationship. The difference is her ex-husband was not white, and I don't see this line of questioning under her videos or posts or comments. People ask more general questions, or at least from what I've seen is, will you love again? Will you get married again? How are you balancing blah, blah, blah. But for me, I always get specifically questions about white men. It's like, that's all people want to see and that's all people want to focus on. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I find people just automatically assume about Black women who have dated white men, is that it's our thing. But I think that you can be into tall guys and fall in love with a short guy and still be into tall guys. I think that you can be into dark-skinned guys and fall in love with a light-skinned guy and still be into dark-skinned guys. I think that you can be into men, fall in love with a woman, and still be into men. I think that oftentimes the heart wants what it wants, and you cannot help who you fall in love with, but it doesn't change your preferences. And her last question was, do you think you might start interior decorating / designing as a serious career path as you have a natural gift? It's something that I super enjoy, and I tend to kind of incorporate things I enjoy into my business / businesses. So who knows, maybe in the future. I kind of just consider myself an artist, which means I like to create, and I kind of dabble in different arenas of creating, and interior spaces and interior design is something that I've always sort of loved. Hooked on HGTV. Joanna Gaines is everything to me. She's one of my favorites, and so who knows in the future what'll be in store for me, but right now I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it on Instagram, and it's just something that I like doing and enjoy. Hi guys. Oh. Kalima Thomas wants to know, what are some tips for house hunting / purchasing? So I am by no means a real estate expert at all, you guys. I just happen to have been in the market 4 times in my in my life. But honestly, as somebody who has purchased homes, my advice is I think you should look for a real estate agent to help you if you can, especially if you're a first-time homeowner. In my opinion, you should seek out somebody whose personality meshes with yours. I just think it makes the process a lot easier when you get along with the person. I mean, that goes for anybody that you're working with, and technically the real estate agent is working for you. So it just, in my experience, has been a lot easier when it's somebody who I mesh with, who I actually enjoy spending time with, and somebody who actually enjoys their job. You know, my most recent experience was great. The real estate agent that I worked with answered at any time, and, you know, was very much pro buyer, like very much on my side and in my corner, and it helped make the experience that much more enjoyable. But also, aside from the real estate agent, my suggestion is to not be so fixed on what you want. And I know that kind of sounds counterproductive, but I think sometimes we go into the house hunting process with such strict expectations or stiff expectations that nothing satisfies you, and you just end up on this endless hunt for something that doesn't exist. I am so glad that I gave each and every one of my homes a chance, despite the fact that none of them were perfect, because they ended up being perfect for me. My first home was a 1-bedroom condo, and I ended up renovating it. It was small, it was tiny. I think it was like 700 square feet, but I ended up renovating it, ripping up carpet, putting floor down. It was an open floor plan from the living room to the kitchen. I ended up enclosing a space in the front and making it a den/office. So even though I didn't have a place to work, I made a place to work even in that tiny space, and I made it my own, and I loved living there. It was conveniently located, and because I added that extra space as a den plus office, I was able to make a profit when it came time to sell. And from there, I moved on to a 3-bedroom single family home. This house, if you guys remember my house hunting vlog back then, that house was straight out of the 70s. The basement was wood paneling. It was damp, smelled like a sewer. There was a bar. There was a bar, like an old school tavern looking bar in the basement. It was a mess. At the time, I wanted to live closer to my mother, so it was closer to my mother's area, and so I bought it, renovated it, gutted the basement, and it ended up being beautiful. Like, I saw the vision for what it could be. I made it a bright, open, airy house, and again, when it came time to move on, I was able to turn a profit and buy my last house, which was this huge 5-bedroom home that backed onto a ravine. It was absolutely gorgeous. The kitchen was so hideous, but I knew that kitchen had potential, and I was right. It was my favorite reno to date. I absolutely, night and day. I'm so proud of that kitchen. I wish I could go back and visit, but I'm so proud of that reno. And I added a bedroom in the basement, which means when it came time to sell, I was selling a 6-bedroom home. So because of my experience with that, I think my biggest piece of advice is just to go in with an open mind, because you never know. It might not be perfect, but you can make it perfect for you. Now, keep in mind, this is advice coming from someone who absolutely loves renovations, so to each their own. Mishia, I think it's Mishia Powell or Meshia Powell. She has a few questions, but her first question is, what plans do you have after YouTube? So, I don't know if a lot of people think YouTube is my job, but it's not. YouTube is my hobby. So, I plan to, continue my hobby. If somebody's hobby is, singing or working out or board games, nobody really asks them what their plans are after board games. Like, that's what they do for fun. YouTube is my fun. It's my hobby, so it's not my source of income. Dating much? ? So no, I haven't been dating much, and if I'm being completely honest with you, at this point I really have no desire to, for a couple of reasons. I know a lot of you live in areas that have gone back to normal life, but hello, we're still living in a pandemic. Like, I don't know how some of y'all are doing it. I have no desire to go out and mingle with strangers that I don't know and No, it's a pandemic. It's Rona. It's Rona outside, girl. Number two, pandemic is just also the perfect opportunity for broke niggas to shine, because I don't want to go for a walk with you. I don't want to take my own coffee to the parking lot to meet you. No, okay, listen. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason for me to jeopardize the health of my household just for a date. Luckily for me, I'm very content in my life. I know a lot of people who go through heartbreak, struggle with loneliness, but for me, I have many sources of love in my life and many sources of companionship in my life. And so I don't feel the need to go seeking that out from strangers in the middle of a pandemic. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm good, sis. I'm good. I'm happy and healthy in my bubble. Religious views, more specifically, are you Christian? So yes, I guess by definition, I do identify as a Christian, meaning I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. Am I religious? No. I'm definitely not your typical Christian. As a matter of fact, I'm the type of Christian that Christians hate, because I love to call Christians out. Christians be the most annoying group of people, y'all. Like, really, they be annoying. But I don't hold a lot of the beliefs that your typical or average Christians do. I'm not going to get into specifics because trust me, I'm not going to go back and forth with y'all. Cheryl Knight says, good morning, Toni. I'm sorry to get so personal on here, but I'm currently going through my own marriage situation. I would like to know, do you believe if the boy never abandoned you that you guys would still be together? Or do you think you would have found the courage to leave, even though they say being with someone for so long makes it hard to leave? Also, do the good memories y'all had together cause you to miss him? So I have no idea, Cheryl. One of the things that I always wished, I'm sure we always wish, is that life was like a choose your own adventure book, meaning after you choose something, you can go back and see what the alternate ending would have been. Yeah, life doesn't work that way. So I have no way to know what my alternate ending would have been if one choice had been changed. Nobody knows. Do the good memories we had together cause you to miss him? Absolutely not. I can definitely say with full confidence that I no longer miss him. I no longer love him. I no longer am in love with him. I no longer have any desire to speak to him, to see him. I am over him. So no, memories do not cause me to miss him anymore. Early on when I was heartbroken, absolutely, of course, I did miss him. I said that in my vlogs. I was very transparent with my healing process, and that's something that I think you guys can see as my videos progress. And if you haven't, you can definitely go back and start from daily vlog number 1. I think I'm up to 67 at this point, but yeah, you can see the progression in my feelings, and you can hear me speak about that as well. Rocky Falls says, I want to move to Canada and become a citizen. What do I do? So if you want to move to a different country, regardless of what the country is, if it's Canada, if it's New Zealand, if it's Mexico, my first suggestion is to go to that country's government website, so canada.ca or unitedstatesofamerica.com or mexico.mx. Go to that country's government website and look up the requirements and qualifications and see if it's something that appeals to you, number 1. Number 2, get your passport, book a flight, and travel to the country. A lot of people say these things like, ooh, I want to move to Mexico, I want to move to Jamaica, I want to move to the US, I want to move to Canada, without ever having stepped a foot there. Like, go travel, go explore, go meet people, join groups. Of course, you'll have to do all that after the Rona. Our borders are closed. So I don't know how long I've been on here yapping. Should I keep going? Should I do a part 2? What do you guys think? Okay, let me do one more. So Tag writes, do you have any tips on how us ladies can become and stay self-sufficient, whether in a relationship or not? That's a great question, because I made a video called Tips on Overcoming Heartbreak, because I had some very key takeaways from my process that I wanted to share with other women based on the, literally, you guys, thousands of messages and emails and DMs that I got from women across the world going through the exact same thing as me. And so I wanted to pass on some things that I learned in my journey that I thought would help somebody else on their journey. So my video was actually specifically on overcoming heartbreak, and I chose to focus on that because that applies to any woman, despite your, you know, financial situation. I chose not to speak on, you know, becoming financially independent or free from your partner because, again, that's not what I wanted to speak to. I want to speak to heartbreak. But I think that it is important to have your own, whether you are young and living at home still, or whether you are single and have roommates, or whether you are in a relationship or marriage, living with your partner. It is definitely important to have your own. I'm not just speaking financially. It's important to have your own interests. It's important to have your own support system. You know, a lot of women do not even realize that they're in abusive relationships, in relationships with narcissistic men, because it's disguised as love. Like, I want you all to myself. I want to spend all my time with you. Why are you always going over to your friend's house? Or why do you talk to your sister so much? All, you know, it's just disguised as this thing called love, and it's like, oh, it's cute. But when shit hits the fan, it becomes glaringly apparent that they've just been trying to isolate you the whole time. And that's when it becomes scary, when that realization dawns on you and you actually need help. Keep your own interests, keep your own friends. I'm not saying you cannot join and build a life with someone. Absolutely, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to have somebody that you specifically can rely on, other than your parent, other than your roommate, other than your partner, whoever it is that you are living with or in a financial, you know, relationship with. Whoever you are depending on financially. It's important to have your own support system. If you can have your own savings or stream of income, even better. Definitely make sure you're taking care of yourself, ladies, because at the end of the day, if you lose that relationship or that financial tie, you're all you've got. So I don't know, I feel like I've been on here rambling for quite some time. So maybe I should wrap it up and come back with a part 2. Thank you so much, you guys, for chilling with me, hanging out with me today, and joining me on my first Q&A.